Before I ever list a home for sale, I like to walk the seller through what I call the 3 stages of selling a home. Because when sellers understand all 3 stages up front, the entire process tends to be smoother, more predictable, and far less stressful. So stick with me for the next several minutes because I'm going to walk you through each of these 3 stages. Real quick though, before we dive in, I'm Adam Waxler. I'm the broker and owner of uKeepCommission Real Estate, and I've been helping people buy and sell homes here in Sarasota County for nearly 20 years. If you'd like my help, the easiest way to reach me is by calling or texting me at 941-465-9206, or simply click one of the links in the description below to get in touch. Okay, the first stage of selling your home is the marketing stage. And this is the stage most sellers naturally focus on. In fact, when a seller asks me, what do I do to sell their home? They're usually asking me about my marketing. And this makes sense, because it's through marketing that your home gets the most exposure. And without good marketing, it'll be difficult to move into the second stage, which is the contract stage, or the third stage, which is the post-contract and closing stage. So yes, this marketing stage is critical. And for me, it all starts with professional photography. Because as the old saying goes, you only get one chance to make a great first impression. And the photos of your home will be that first impression. Fortunately, we use one of the most well-respected photographers in Sarasota County, and we include drone shots, virtual twilight images, photos of any amenities, and lifestyle shots of local attractions like the beach or nearby downtown areas. Because remember, buyers aren't just buying a house, they're buying a lifestyle, and our marketing needs to reflect that. Now, of course, your home gets listed on MLS and syndicated to all the major real estate sites, Zillow, Realtor.com, every brokerage site out there. But what I believe separates us is how aggressively we market your home outside of MLS, particularly on the social media sites and video sites, sites such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, our Google business page, our YouTube channel, and even Pinterest. And we don't just post on these sites, we also pay to promote many of those posts. We run targeted advertising based on location, buyer behavior, and interest in real estate related topics. That way your home is being shown to people who are far more likely to actually take action. We also don't treat every platform the same. What may work well on Facebook doesn't work the same way on Instagram. For example, static posts tend to perform better on Facebook, while carousel posts, reels, and stories perform better on Instagram. We also use interactive tools like polls and other engagement features in our Instagram stories to generate curiosity and keep buyers interacting with the listing. On YouTube, we'll use a mix of long-form videos and short-form videos because that's what works best on that specific platform. On platforms like Facebook, we take it even further. We share your listing on various Facebook groups, such as local community groups, real estate-related groups, moving to Florida groups, or moving to Sarasota groups. Oftentimes, a single listing is shared on well over 30 different group pages. And this isn't done just once. We repeat this process for the initial launch, open houses, and key updates so your home doesn't just disappear after the first week. And our marketing doesn't stop online. We also use print marketing, such as postcards that are mailed to nearby homes and high-quality flyers for open houses, info tubes, and in-person showings. Each piece of print media includes either a QR code or a text code, so buyers can instantly pull up photos, videos, and full property details right from their phone. And then there are open houses. Some agents will tell you open houses are a waste of time. I strongly disagree. I've seen countless transactions start with an open house. I've had buyers walk into my open houses and say something like, this isn't exactly what we were looking for, but we saw the signs or we saw the ads and decided to stop by. And then that turned into an actual sale. I've even had my own buyers do the same thing. I once had a buyer who was only looking at golf course homes. We looked at over 20 homes together, all on golf courses, because that's what he said he wanted. Then one day he calls me up and said he found his dream home at an open house. And guess what? Turns out it was near the beach and nowhere near a golf course. That home was never on his radar until someone else's open house marketing put it there. The fact is, open houses do work. And honestly, you should be reluctant to hire a realtor who says they don't. Now, all of this marketing, regardless if it's social media posts, videos, postcards, or any of the other marketing I just mentioned, are all done in conjunction with today's most sophisticated AI tools. This helps me refine messaging and optimize captions, descriptions, and hashtags as well as adapt content based on what's performing best across the different platforms. What I like to say is your home isn't just being marketed, it's being marketed intelligently. Now, ideally stage 1 does its job and it brings us into stage 2, meaning we get an offer or even better, multiple offers. This is where an experienced realtor really matters because an offer is not just about the price, especially in today's market here in Sarasota, which is much more of a buyer's market than we've seen in years. Today, buyers are asking for things we simply weren't seeing a few years ago. For example, many buyers are now asking sellers to contribute towards closing costs. Well, there's a right way and a wrong way to handle that. We're also seeing more and more offers that are contingent on the buyer selling their home. Now, that doesn't mean it's a bad offer, but it does need to be handled correctly. For me, if a buyer needs to sell their home, I want to see their home is already on the market, already under contract, past the inspection period, and ideally it's already appraised. I'll also get a copy of that contract and I'll speak directly with the agents on both sides of that transaction. That way, when I go back to my seller, I'm presenting facts. I'm helping my seller make an educated decision. I always tell my sellers, I can't eliminate all risk, but I do everything I can to minimize the risk as much as possible. Now, once we negotiate all the terms, the price, the inspection period, who pays title, timelines, and everything else, and the contract is executed, we move on to stage 3. Stage 3 is basically everything that happens between the signing of the contract and the actual closing. Unfortunately, in my opinion, this is the stage where many realtors simply drop the ball. It's like they celebrate being under contract and forget that there are still several very important steps left. Steps that can absolutely kill a deal if they're not handled properly. 2 of the biggest are the inspection and the appraisal. Now, one thing I tell every potential seller, even if you don't hire me, do not hire an agent who does not agree to attend both the inspection and the appraisal. I am still shocked at how many agents don't do that. At the inspection, many issues can easily be resolved just by being there, answering questions and providing clarification in real time. Now, since every contract we do, or nearly every contract we do, is what we call an as-is contract, one of 3 things is going to happen during the buyer's inspection period. 1, the buyer accepts the home as is and moves forward. Great, everyone's happy. 2, the buyer walks away and gets their deposit back. It's unfortunate, but it can happen. Or 3, and by far the most common scenario, some minor renegotiation takes place based on the inspection results. And when I say most common, I mean nearly every single transaction I've been involved with over the past 20 years, outside of the COVID years, of course, has had some minor renegotiation that happens during the inspection period, which is why it's so important that your realtor attend the inspection. And then there's the appraisal. Again, I honestly don't understand why an agent wouldn't attend the appraisal. If the buyer is getting a loan and the home doesn't appraise, the buyer either needs to bring more cash to the table, or the seller needs to lower their price, or both sides need to meet in the middle, or the deal falls apart. And this often happens late in the transaction. Remember, the contract states that the buyer has 30 days to get written loan approval. Imagine being 30 days basically off the market only to find out the home didn't appraise. Now, when I attend an appraisal, I present my comps, I explain our pricing strategy, and I point out upgrades and features the appraiser may simply have missed. Anything from crown molding to light fixtures to a new AC or other major improvements. You see, it's really, really important to understand that appraisals are an art, not a science. And it's even more important to understand that appraisers are only human. Being present at the appraisal can absolutely make the difference between the appraisal coming in at value or coming in low and forcing another renegotiation. The good news is once we're past the appraisal, it's usually smooth sailing. Do things come up? Sure, absolutely. But for the most part, it's typically smooth sailing. Then, a few days before closing, I review the settlement statement with my sellers to make sure all the numbers look correct. And if there are any issues, we get them resolved before closing. We also do a final walkthrough, and I make sure the buyer or the buyer's agent signs off that everything is okay with the property. The goal here is simple. By the time we get to closing, everything has already been handled. As I like to say, closing day should be a celebration, not a surprise. And that's the 3 stages of selling a home. When each stage is handled correctly, the process is smoother, more predictable, and far less stressful for the seller. So, if you're thinking about selling anywhere in Sarasota County, the next step is really just the conversation. Every home and every situation is different, and I'm happy to walk you through how these 3 stages would apply specifically to your home. Whenever you're ready, feel free to reach out and we can take it from there. Just give me a call, 941-465-9206.